This is the 2025 Land Rover Defender X Dynamic SE. Is it worth every penny? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Land Rover of Shreveport to give you the particulars on this Defender. If you want to know more about it, maybe come in and buy it, check out the link down in the description of the video. While we've had this generation around for a few years now, I like that it still looks like a Defender. If you look at it and you know what a Land Rover Defender is, it's not too hard to figure out what it is you're looking at. We're going to have full LED lighting here on the front end with LED headlights, daytime running lights, and LED fog lights. Our sensors down here on the lower portion of the front end, we're going to have all of those great driving aids, parking sensors, all of that's going to be here. Now this model's exterior color without the matte protective film that's on it is actually Santorini black, but a little bit more of a matte finish with the protective film that this model has. And we're going to see all-wheel drive, nothing out of the ordinary where that is concerned, but I did want to go right here. Hopefully you can see what I want you to see right here, which is the fact that we have 22-inch wheels, because somebody is probably going to tell me those aren't 22-inch wheels. 275 on your width, 45 series sidewall, but these are the optional gloss black 22-inch wheels. Speaking of gloss black, we're going to have a little bit more of that here with the side view mirror caps. We're going to have our turn signal indicators built in, so that's going to be nice to have that, and you can see those in action. Everything is here literally that you want. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and they're also going to fold as well, power folding. So a little bit of everything where that is concerned. Now you will have some of the body color up here in areas such as the roof, and with your door handles, we'll also have the assist steps right here now. And we'll have a full-size spare tire back here, easily located on the rear. It's nice that you don't have to go underneath the vehicle to get to it or pull it out of a well inside of the cargo area, but you might still, depending on who you are, still need a little bit of help getting that off of here. Some of you can probably do that one-handed. And I had a door that was ajar earlier, so now that I fixed that, I can show you these power folding side view mirrors in action. Now I hope you can see what's on the window sticker here, because knowing how some people are in the comments section on these videos, somebody's going to say, that's not a V8 under the hood. Well, actually it is. It's a 5-liter supercharged V8. This one makes 493 horsepower and 450 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. We'll work our way back over to the window sticker again so I can tell you what the MPGs are. 14 city, 18 highway, 16 combined, and 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. You know what the MPGs are. Let's talk about the gas tank a little bit here, something you don't get a lot of information on in these videos typically. You have a gas cap, so no capless fuel fill here. If you're not a fan of capless fuel fill, well, that's nice to know what's there. And when you fill up, it's a 23.8 gallon gas tank. When it comes to practical use with the Defender 110, such as what we have here, you can tow up to 8,201 pounds. That's not too bad. And we have 34 up to 78.8 cubic feet of cargo space. And there's actually quite a bit to talk about back here. A little bit of space in here for storage if you want to use that. We also have the lighting back here, your cargo area lighting. I like that that's on both sides and that it's pointed into the interior as it is. We'll also find these safari windows, although I don't think those are very useful because rear seat passengers would have to basically turn around to look at them and see what's going on. Now, here's something that is very useful. One of the great aspects of air suspension. You see how high the rear end of this Defender is off the ground, but that's a very easy thing to remedy. Whether you want to raise or lower it, it works very well. Now I'm going to go ahead and lower it, let it come down. It's probably kind of hard to see on the video that it's actually moving, but it doesn't really take that long to make that happen. That's one of my favorite features about these Defenders. And so if you need to change the ride height back here, it really is that simple to do. So depending on what you're loading or unloading, that makes things very, very simple. Now I'm going to hop on in here real quick because there's one thing I wanted to show you that's a little unusual, not for the Defender, it's been here for a while, but for any vehicle really. You don't see this very often. There's a strap right here. Basically you can stick something down inside here, whatever will fit, and it's going to stay in place. That's nice to have. And you also have that over here on this side. Now some of you might be saying, Tom, why haven't you lowered the rear seats? We like to see cargo space maximized. That is something else I want to talk about in more detail because it's another favorite feature. And here's what I'm talking about. There's a couple of different ways you can configure things back here. Now you can just lower down that center seat and use that as a pass-through. However, that's not the only option. And you may own a Defender and not even know about this. It's very easy to lower the seats just like this, but you might say, you know, I really wish those seats sat more flat than that. Well, they do. All you have to do is start off number one. See if I can do this. There we go. We're going to get that out of the way, and then I'm going to reach up here and I'm going to lower that headrest. And well, let's lower both headrests. We'll do this in real time just for the fun of it. And now, look at that. It's completely flat. That is one of my favorite things. A lot of vehicles don't have the ability to do that, so you actually have a couple of different ways you can set things up back here. And obviously you can do the same with the seat over there on the passenger side. For those who wanted to see everything maximized, here is how it looks. All the seats are laid flat, and this also gives us a great vantage point of the panoramic sunroof. The front portion will open, and it also has a power shade that can be drawn forward when there's too much light coming into the interior. Whatever the case is, that can be remedied. Let's take a look into the Caraway Windsor leather interior. A lot of space here with the armrest. Very comfortable, by the way. The exposed screw, just that Land Rover Defender look and feel. That should be there on this particular model. Bottle holder right here. I'd call that more of a bottle holder than a door bin, but a nice size bottle will definitely fit in that area. The grab handles here, while this is not a model that is very high off the ground, it is nice to have those grab handles. It just makes it easier to hop in and out. And I told you about that power shade earlier. There it is. Went ahead and drew that into place just so you could see how that looks. And we're going to have the rear seat storage right here, and have the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. You can see that. And this is a 4-zone climate control vehicle. So 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and you can control everything from fan speed to temperature and whatever else you want to back here. There's a lot going on where this Defender is concerned. And you're also going to find connectivity options in the way of a couple of USB ports. And something else that's nice about the Defender, if you have passengers or you yourself as the driver have a lot of dirt, mud on your shoes or your boots or whatever you're wearing, well, it's nice to have these all-weather mats. You can just hose that right off. Very easy to deal with, very easy to clean. What about the sticker price on this 2025 Land Rover Defender X Dynamic SE? At Land Rover of Shreveport, it's $112,718. You're going to have a nice large door bin on both doors, seat memory for both seats, large armrest right there, and the seats are both power adjustable. Here in the front seat area for the driver and the passenger, they have lumbar support. They're heated and they're ventilated, literally everything you want. And all the typical controls you expect to find here on the driver's side door. Again, seat memory right there, controls for your side view mirrors, all of your windows right there. And if you want to lock all of the windows where only you can control those, you can. The power parking brake is located here, and over here on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, this control is how you adjust the tilt and telescopic functionality of the steering wheel. And the steering wheel itself, give you a quick look at that. Here's everything for your cruise control. This is where you turn the heated steering wheel on, like that, and off. If you see a flickering effect with the lighting, that's not actually happening. That just happens through the lens of my camera. Now, I'm going to do one thing here and show you, if you say to yourself, wow, I don't really like that look on the digital instrument cluster, push this button and we can go through and make some changes to display layout. You can see that right there. If I wanted to have navigation, that's how we do that. Very simple to use, that's for sure. And then we can hit that center button again. We go back to display layout, And we'll go up here to one dial, for example. If we just wanted to have that, which I think I'm going to leave it that way for now. So there's a few different options. I'm not going to show you every single one just to save some time, but you have all of that depending on what you want to do. And over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you control the lighting on the exterior of the vehicle, including the turn signal indicators. I went through a lot of training to learn how to use that. I know a lot of you haven't done that yet because I drive around you regularly. And then right here we have the control for the windshield wipers. And so we take care of all that with our wipers. Easy to deal with, no problem. I like the overall look and design here. It has a nice rugged but still a luxurious look to it at the same time. Something that I really wish more automakers would do is use this space. There's extra space right there, so that's nice to have. There's also a USB outlet right here, the Defender logo, and you do have your traditional glove box right there that nobody ever puts any gloves in. And there's a little bit of space behind the screen right here. Don't know if anybody's going to use that. One other thing, let me hop out here so I can show it to you from the right vantage point, is going to be found right here with the pass-through. So storage space underneath the center console area. Again, something that we don't see a lot in most vehicles. I would like to see more of that. The Pivi Pro infotainment screen. Very simple to use, but chocked full of great technology, great features. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All kinds of different things you can go through here. You can just keep scrolling over and get more information. There we go. There's one thing, depending on what you're doing and where you are, if you do go off-roading, you could easily take advantage of that. So nice to have all of these different features and functionality here. What about our camera views? Well, there are several. We have the front view, we have a rear view camera. You can view things from the side, depending on what you want to see and where you want to see, you can do that. So very easy to deal with. You even have your 3D view right here, so we can see all around the vehicle. That's just nice. Added security. You can see what's going on if somebody parks too close to you, or if you park too close to somebody yourself. It has happened. But that's how you know you're not going to hit anybody, and add color to your Defender that shouldn't be there. And how about off-road? Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, Tom, very few people take their Defenders off-road these days, and I realize that's true. However, this can come in handy if you're in a situation where maybe you live out on the East Coast and you've had a hurricane come through and you're driving down the road and you need to see if there's something in front of you that you can drive over or not. Well, you can see exactly what's there very easily when that situation comes up. There's a lot of different advantages that can come from that. And like I said earlier, you can tow with this Defender over 8,000 pounds. There's how you can hook up to your trailer without having anybody around to help you out. And we'll go right here to our icons. All I did, you saw what I pushed right there, I think. Right here, we just pushed those 4 little squares right there, and that allows us to come in here and see some of our other features. Everything kind of in one place. So nice to see that. Again, easy to deal with. You've got your built-in navigation if you want to use that. That seems to be a big deal to a lot of people, to have built-in navigation. Obviously, you have that here. You can see what else is here. There's your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto right there. And if we go to 4x4 right here, we already saw this screen, but just to show you what's going on, you also have wade sensing. So again, if you're dealing with the high water situation, you can see how high the water is that you're driving through and make sure you don't go through too much. So nice to know that you can do these things and have all of these great features and functionality that most vehicles don't have. So that's always a good thing. And then I'm going to go into reverse here just so you can see the rear view camera, which is basically the same view that we already saw right there. But in case anybody was wondering about that, here's what we have where that's concerned. And you can still go through different views right there depending on what you want to do. And you see the shifter right here. What do you think about that position? Do you like that? Would you rather have it on the column, maybe down here on the center console? It seems to work well right there. I like that it's still a traditional style shifter. It's not just push button. It seems that a lot of people don't like the just pure push button shifters. And if you want to turn the radio on and off or adjust the volume, there you go. That's where you do that. And the auto stop start is right here if you want to turn that on or turn it off. And again, that flickering effect is not really happening. If you were sitting here with me, you wouldn't actually see that unless you were looking through the lens of my camera. Dual zone climate control here in the front. We can push right here and turn on the ventilated seats or the heated seats. So that's easy enough to deal with. So depending on what you need to do, there you go. Easy to deal with. Traction control on and off right there. I think you know what all is here. And we'll find some storage right here. Also our cup holders. Your wireless charging pad is located right there. And we also have the refrigerated console. So whatever you can get to fit in there will stay nice and cool during the summer. You actually have 2 different stages that you can use. So depending on what you want, well, there you go. That's how that works. Very easy to deal with. And the upper console, we'll give you a quick look at that. So there's where you're going to control the power shade and the positioning of the sunroof if you want to open that. And what's it like to drive the Defender? Well, I'm going to slow down just a little bit here. We'll step on the pedal for you a little. Maybe not too much, but a little bit to hear that exhaust note. And I don't know that the microphone picked it up very well, but there is a little bit of supercharger whine as well. And for those of you who might say, what is supercharger whine? It's just this kind of high-pitched sound that the supercharger makes. And so if you know what it is, you can understand. If not, you might hear it and say, oh, that's what that sound is coming from. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with the vehicle. That might actually help you out there a little bit. Who knows? But a fun vehicle to drive. It does feel kind of large and weighty a little bit. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it does have the feel that, well, it probably should have. Although it doesn't feel like you're out of control or anything like that. But it's not like driving a Range Rover or a Range Rover Sport or anything like that. It does seem a little bit larger when it is on its feet, so to speak, kind of a almost school bus-like feel. At least that's my opinion on the matter. Not to put it down or anything like that, but that's just what the experience is. And there's probably a few of you out there that say, that's good, Tom, that's what I want. By the way, one thing as I'm looking at the windshield that I forgot to tell you about earlier is the fact that you have a head-up display here. You can adjust that. You probably saw that when we were going through some of the adjustment options here on the instrument cluster earlier in the video. So you can go in and make changes to brightness and information and even its position. So depending on how tall you are, if you can't see it from your vantage point, from where you have the seat set, well, you can change that. Now, it's pretty easy to see out of. There is a blind spot over my right shoulder, but you know what? Not necessarily a big problem because, number one, you have the ability to adjust your side view mirrors where you can see what's going on in that area, but also your blind spot monitoring. So you really don't have to worry too much about that. Not a big deal, not a problem. That works out pretty well. Everything's easy to get to. I like the fact that you can reach everything very easily from the driver's position. You don't have to reach real far, lean forward, or anything like that. That's always nice to have that advantage. And the technology here, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is very easy to deal with. Whether you're going in and making changes or looking at what you have as far as your driving aids go, which you can do that under vehicle in the infotainment screen, everything's pretty easy to deal with. What I like to call the hunt and peck method. You just push buttons, you figure things out. It's not a big deal. But if you're looking for kind of an old school looking luxury off-roading vehicle, this is probably a good thing to have. It definitely has kind of that combination of the old look of the Defender, but it also looks modern at the same time. It has all of those great features such as all-wheel drive that's going to keep you safe. One thing about the all-wheel drive system, a lot of people think, well, I'll never go off-roading. Well, it's useful on-road as well if you're dealing with maybe wet roads. Asphalt like this, when it's freshly paved, has a lot of oil in it, so when it rains, it tends to kind of get slick, and so you have to be careful. It can help you out to avoid problems where that's concerned. Great for the snow and ice, obviously. And if you do deal with things such as what I talked about earlier with weather conditions that are less than favorable to drive in, it's going to be helpful to you there as well. And there it is, the 2025 Land Rover Defender X Dynamic SE. Tell me what you think. Is it worth every penny? I'm curious to receive your feedback. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this Defender for the day, and a special thanks for all of you who are kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.